Well, good evening, everyone. What's going on? Welcome to Rick's Room every Wednesday night here on IntellectualRadio.com. We appreciate you stopping by the room this evening. It's Wednesday night here in Chicago, and it's a little warm. We got a nice little warm-up going on in Chicago, a little heat wave, but it's supposed to get cold again tomorrow. But that's how we do in the Midwest, right? So we're all aware of how the temperature change takes place. But we appreciate you taking a few moments to kick it with us in the room. If you're tuning in with us via Intellectual Radio or YouTube live streaming, we appreciate you viewing us. And if you're checking us out with Spreaker, hello to you as well. And if you happen to be on Facebook right over there, y'all go ahead and wave to Facebook and say, what's going on? What's up? What's up? I got a great panel with me today as we're going to talk about here in the room. The customer is not always right. The customer is not always right. I got some folks in the service industry and various different customer service aspects or this happens all the time. Happens all the time. I'm sorry, what about the makeup? Or there as well. So kick back, relax, and make sure that you have your adult beverage as we do as well. Cheers to everyone that's on the panel here. Cheers down there as well. Thanks for tuning. Right, them too, as well. Yo, so real quick before we get into the discussion, as I like to do, there's some things that take place that I like to highlight. So this morning we had this whole new lunar eclipse or phenomenon or whatever that hasn't happened in like 150 years. Yeah. Right. So it was like it was a lunar eclipse and a blue blood moon. I like the show Blue Blood, so I called it a blue blood moon. But whatever. It was a blue blood moon. Okay. Well, I blame the government, but whatever. It was a lunar eclipse. It was a blue moon and a super moon. No, it was a super moon. Super moon. It was like the closest to Earth. Yeah, it was a lot of moon things going on. Whatever. It's the second full moon in a month. Oh. Yeah, I just learned that too not too long ago. So, so that happened today. I don't know if you got a chance to catch it. Did any of you? It's happening right now. No, it took place at like 6:50. 6:50 morning. Yeah. I know, right? Exactly. I set an alarm.
I see it again.
I was driving and forgot to look up.
I thought it was tonight today.
Right? No, yeah, no, it was this morning. It was this morning. It was this morning. So.
I'm supposed to have another one in about another year.
Oh, really? All of that again? That's whole trifecta again?
It won't be.
I don't think it'll be all of it.
Right. Yeah, that's well. I mean, it's cool. Hey, if you got a chance to check it, great. We did not get a little feedback there. If you got a chance to check it out, great. If not, like me, I saw it in my dream because the news was on while I was asleep. So I believe that I heard it, but I was asleep. So whatever, it's fine. Yeah, exactly. And I was able to participate in it that way. But listen, I got a great panel here to talk about the customer is not always right. Some friends here in the room kicking it with me. I'll let them go ahead and introduce themselves so we can get started in the conversation. So I'm gonna kick it off with Miss Brandy, who's back with me in my room, hanging out. My big sis, what's going on?
What's happening?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome back.
Excellent.
Tell the viewers and the listeners a little bit about yourself.
My name is Brandy, aka Brandy L. I do a myriad of things, but what I will say I am known for is my makeup, and I use my makeup chair as a means to talk with women about self-love, self-worth, things like that.
Well, welcome back.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Mr. Sean, how are you, sir?
I'm beautiful, brother. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for joining me in the room tonight.
Thank you for having me.
First time on the show. So this actually was a great idea, a topic that you pitched and that thought it would be a great idea to talk about. So thank you for the idea. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Sean.
My name is Sean Davis. I'm resident or Chicago native since 1981. I spent 4 years in the military as a U.S. Marine. I also spent 10 years traveling and touring as a member of Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus as a clown.
Right. So he gets to clown with us as well here in Rick's room. Sean and I go way back. When I first got started in the service industry, Sean and I worked together.
Ruby Tuesdays.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, you know what? There's none open in Illinois anywhere, so we can say that. Right. We can't talk about where else we work, but we can say that we did work together. For
we do a Mean Boys to Men. Though.
We do a Mean Boys to Men. Shout out to you know what? I was hanging out with Adam today too as well. Adam was we were hanging out. I told him you'd be on the show as well. But shout out to Adam Fonetta and the Fonetta family who generally helps out with that Boys to Men group and karaoke. But thanks so much for being on the show. And then I have Miss Deb. What's going on, Miss Deb? How are you?
Good evening. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. Tell me a little bit about yourself, Deb.
Okay, a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Well, I've been in the service industry most of my life. I started working when I was 14. I even sold items door to door.
Oh.
So I have a very unique view of the customer.
It's a different facets. Well, I'm excited to hear a little bit about your experiences as well. And then last but certainly not least, I have my girl, Miss Tasha, joining us. How you doing, Miss Tasha? Owner of the Cookout on Wheels, one of our show sponsors here this evening. Tell us a little bit about yourself and go ahead and tell us a little bit about the Cookout.
Well, I've been in the service industry for a very long time, several millennia, actually, at this point. Feels like it. From different aspects, being actually a server, being a host, and now actually a business owner in the service industry. So that I have a few POVs.
Right.
Quite real.
So sometimes they contradict themselves. But the Cookout on Wheels, we are a mobile food truck and backyard barbecue. Our feel is kind of anything smoked or home style, different types of home. You're going to get Southern, you're going to get some Southwestern, you're going to get some Asian, a little Greek, all kinds of stuff. Rick can attest to this.
Yes.
Tagline, friends fed here. Come hungry and leave with your elastic pants, hopefully.
Hashtag friends fed here. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, so we decided that we were going to talk about it with our viewers and listeners and anyone else that might be participating in the conversation about the customer not always being right. So many times for those of us who are in this industry, we deal with some pretty different various personalities, right? Unfortunately, they always think that they have the upper hand and that they are right. But we're here to talk about how sometimes you as a customer are not always right. And you need to be aware of that. You need to be cognizant of that. And go ahead, if you're in the service industry and watching, you want to share some of your experiences, give us a call. 708-223-8953 is the number to call. We'll go ahead and listen to you. Or if you're commenting on live stream, I believe everybody has, or most of us have our phones here in front of us that are watching as well. So we'll be kind of keeping in touch with your comments as they come up. And Khadijah, you got your adult beverage. Nice job. Well done. Cheers to you as well. So listen, the first thing I want to get in I'll start with the service industry because that's where I kind of get this my perspective from. You have people who, well, let's say this. What is, when we have people who come in and they think that they're always right, what's the best way to kind of handle the most irate or unruly? See, what I tell you, happens all the time. Happens all the time. What are some of the ways that you tend to handle individuals who come in and either sit in your section or are participating in whatever service you provide? What are some of the ways that you kind of handle that? Sean, it looks like you had something to say there about it.
To be honest with you, and it's been a lesson learned over many, many years. You take it with a grain of salt, but you dish it out just as good as they can give it.
Really?
Yes.
That's a talent to be able to do that.
It is. I did say it's a learned skill. It's a very learned skill.
Agreed.
I found that when people know when they're being rude to you,
really,
they know this.
Okay.
They know when they have an attitude and a chip on their shoulder.
Really?
Yes.
So is that a general consensus that everybody has, that most people know that they're being rude?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Some people wait to turn it on. They come to the restaurant
But just to
do
be
it
rude.
rude because maybe they feel like this is the venue with it.
Or the grocery store, or the medical office, or Walmart.
Yeah.
Or wherever they're being
industry,
serviced.
retail,
Yes.
absolutely.
Wherever there's a service being provided by someone else, people have this, and I don't want to label it, but I don't know any other way to label it other than this sense of self-entitlement that I'm going to treat you like you're beneath me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have the money.
Exactly.
The money's
Or
here
don't.
and you want it
Or
over
don't.
there, then you have to work for it.
I have the money, you don't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in this position of power, you're over there.
Mm-hmm.
This puts me in the pecking order a little bit higher above you. No, it does not.
Mm.
And even it doesn't even have anything to do with money, I don't think. I think they feel like you are in a position where you don't get to respond, because responding could cost you your job in some places.
Yes.
I work in
Very
the
well.
medical field, and in the medical field, what has started to happen is everything is based on a survey. So sometimes we can get paid for services based on a survey. So it has become a customer service type of environment, which I hate, because I ain't there to kiss your behind. I'm there to save it.
Exactly.
As far as I'm concerned, that's how we see it. But that's not how the industry, the business, sees it anymore. It is a business, and there is a bottom line, and that bottom line is driven by numbers, which is driven by happy customers, so to speak. So it ain't even about sometimes whether or not you have the money. It's about you feeling like you have the upper hand.
Exactly.
Period.
So you bring up a point that I think is interesting for, I think, businesses to also kind of take a look at. How do you guys feel like that businesses do a decent or good job with backing their, employees?
No.
Wow, really?
No.
Well, so because from my perspective, I think as a business owner, and Tasha, you might be able to chime in with being the business owner that you are, that when you have your staff that are constantly being antagonized by guests, that they would step up as a business and say, hey, let me back my staff up.
Really, it varies a lot, corporate versus the little guy.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in a corporate environment, you're expendable.
You're expendable.
You're a cardboard cookie cutout, and you can be replaced very easily.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you work, in a small, privately owned business, it's more of a team effort at that point, and we definitely have each other's backs a little bit more.
Right.
I think that your demeanor
definitely
really
plays
does change the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're in the service industry, a lot of people think that you may be a servant, but just because I'm here to serve you does not mean I'm your servant.
Yes.
So I think that the way you carry yourself and your demeanor blankets the situation.
Okay.
I will absolutely agree, which goes back to what I said in the beginning. When I see it and I pick up on that, you're talking down to me, or that, being rude, my demeanor instantly changes, and you as a person will know that my demeanor has changed. And now you're going to pick up that I know that you're being difficult.
And now it's just tense and awkward.
Yes. Like, okay.
Which can make the next 45 minutes run pretty, interesting, right?
I think a lot of times when people have an objection to a service or something that has happened, I think that really they just want to get something for free.
Definitely.
So, that came up once in a conversation, that ultimately the bottom line or the goal is to get something for free, right? Like that's really
I know people like that.
A drink.
I know people that go out just to complain to get something for free.
I've had someone put their own hair in the food.
I believe
and then
you.
try to get it free.
I believe you.
Yeah.
Yo.
It was so obvious it was his hair. He had a big afro. In a restaurant.
Like, seriously?
Everybody in back is Latino. And I had a perm at the time, so my hair was straight. He had big, curly, wavy, 4 foot long, swirled up, pushed into the ice cream. How would that get in ice cream? And he was pretty high at the time anyway. So yeah, he didn't want to have to pay for his food. So he tucked his hair into what was left. So
there are people out there that really kind of do this on purpose. Like this is their thing.
Absolutely.
Wow. I didn't, so I guess I tend to think that people are good natured as a whole. Don't get me wrong. I have given up on humanity working in the service industry.
I've become a cynic because of the service
Absolutely.
industry.
It makes you a cynic.
Yeah.
It really does.
Some people.
At one point, I would tell my sister I had gotten to the point where I hated people, and I shouldn't say that out loud, but I did. Dealing with the public and having to service them, and having a team, a higher up team that wasn't backing me. I hated people all around.
Yeah, you feel like an island. You're out there
right, exactly. And that's exactly what it felt like for me. I was an island. I was out there to protect myself. So if we're doing this and you arguing, I'm arguing, then we arguing, and I'm not expecting that I'm gonna get backed up, but I'm gonna let you know that you're wrong.
Right.
Exactly.
Period. And I think that's part of the problem. People are not told when they're wrong anymore. They're just allowed to have what they want. The squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Yes.
Essentially.
Yes, it does.
And that just encourages them to do it again. Why not? It worked the first time.
It worked the first time.
This is what works. Then I'm going to do it all the time.
That behavior, it's not checked.
Exactly.
It is rewarded. Get you out the quickest, get you the free meal, get you whatever, long as you are out of the store, not causing a scene, causing a domino effect.
Okay. All right. It looks like I'm having a little bit of some issues with the camera, so I'm going to have my buddy Eric take a look at that here because there's a filter on or something. But while we're taking a look at that
clown thing?
Yes.
I asked earlier what was happening with my makeup. That's what I meant.
Oh, that was. I just noticed it when I sat over here.
You see it in the recording.
I just noticed it when I looked up. Like, what is going on with that?
I thought that just meant don't look at this particular phone.
Well, no, and that's fine. You don't have to, but. Wait, don't hit that one. But anyway, so we'll we can stop it and start it again. Eric will take care of that, but we'll continue on. So now here's the thing that I don't understand, or I guess I'd like to believe it doesn't happen, but it does happen. When these things come up, when you have these people who put, items in their food, or they're complaining just to get something for free. As an individual in this industry, how do you handle that? You mentioned your demeanor kind of, it takes effect to, dealing with these individuals. How do you deal with that? What are some of the things that you do to kind of overcome or get through that?
Me personally, I think one of the major factors is age and level of maturity.
Okay.
Some people don't respond to pressure well. Pressure creates diamonds. Sometimes the pipe bursts. You have some of your servers who have been in this industry long enough. They're a little more thicker skinned, and they've walked down the street before, so this is not new to them.
Right.
Whereas you have servers who may have been in the industry just the same amount of time, but they don't handle crisis well.
Or they take it personally.
You have to keep in mind, this is the service industry. It is food and drinks. We are not saving some third world country from the brink of starvation. It is not rocket science.
We are not saving lives here.
It is rocket. It's not that
difficult. It's not science.
It's not
the sun will rise tomorrow if we're out of pecans.
Exactly.
Right.
Girl,
we're not always going to have all the items for the Cajun chicken pasta. Sometimes, guess what? A lot of people go out to eat. You're not the only one that goes out to eat.
Right.
We have busy days. We have slow days.
Right.
We have days.
Have to wait.
We have days where we can't accurately forecast that we're gonna have 600 people walk in a shift, and there are some nights when you have 30 people walk in a shift. But within all of that, it lies with your level of maturity. Keeping it in mind that it's just food and drinks. Okay, if we overcooked your steak, you wanted your steak well done, it came out medium. Okay. If you like shoe leather steak, we'll cook you a shoe leather steak. It's not a problem. Don't freak out. Just keep your composure. What makes it a problem is when, like you said, people take it personal. They think that, oh, I messed up. Well, did you cook the food? No, you didn't.
Right.
You're just the server.
If there's an issue, at least try to figure, as a customer, try to figure out what the issue is. If the food is cooked incorrectly, why are you mad at the server? I didn't cook the food. You know this.
You know this.
Okay.
You know this.
Now, if the food is cold,
and I get that
may be an
part.
issue with me not bringing it out on time.
Exactly.
Maybe. But again, that it's not.
There are issues that can be
a reason
controlled.
to be mean about it.
No,
Yeah,
there's no
some
reason
people
to be
just-
mean or condescending.
Some people, I guess, maybe in their own lives are looking for someone's bully because they are bullied.
That's
Yeah,
a good point.
And it's a trickle down.
I get that a lot.
It's
at
a
work.
trickle down type of system.
I get that a lot.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time. I used to work for a telephone company in the call center, and one of the skills they taught me was trying to elevate a mood. Not necessarily trying to get somebody who's at a 0 all the way to a 3, but if they're at a 0, get them to a 1. If they're at a 1, get them at a 2. 3 being the happiest, 0 being the least satisfied. But what I try to get people to also understand is, come to me how I come to you. So if you come to me with an attitude, then you probably gonna get attitude back.
Exactly.
I'm a mirror.
Now, right? I try really
person
hard.
before anything.
Exactly. I am human, so I do try very hard to remember those skills when I'm dealing with those difficult people. Now, if I'm working and I can't get you there, then I got to stop you, because what we not gonna do is abuse.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And it's a lot of wasted energy too.
Right, and it's wasted energy. So, what did you having an attitude about your burnt steak get you in the end?
Nothing.
Or really a bad night out.
A bad night out.
Bad experience.
I think that when you personalize it, when you are able to make someone understand that you're a person too, and you're in this together, I'm not the enemy. And you can say, I wouldn't like that if that happened to me either. Let me do what I can do on my end. So if they can see that you're in it with them, instead of against them, I think that helps to bring down the level of dissatisfaction, And
there's also a level of accountability from the server side as well. As a server, if your guest has an issue with their food, Of course, just like you said, empathize with them.
Mhm.
You know, let them know that you're on their side.
Right. I care about it as if I were the customer.
Exactly.
And, something wrong with my phone.
If I were sitting in your seat
Mhm.
and you were standing in my shoes,
Mhm.
I'm going to treat you the same way, regardless.
Right.
So let's get to the issue.
Because the bottom line is, whatever happens and someone else has made something dissatisfactory, when you're the person that's completely in touch with that person one-on-one,
You're the first line.
It hits your bottom line.
It does.
That's your tip.
Mhm.
You know, that's
Or
your
lack
money at the end of the
Yeah, at
week.
the end of the right, exactly.
So you want to make whatever happen, but you do have to make them feel like you're in it with them.
Yes, you have to.
So
Yeah, I try to connect with my guests on some level. I find something in common with anybody.
Right.
And when you become a comrade, if you will, on whatever level, then it's easier for them for the transaction to go smoothly. Or if they are mad, it's easy for them to relate to you because now you're the friend.
Yes.
Yeah.
If they can't say what I'm gonna walk through this window and I'm gonna curse this girl out, but then she made me laugh, and now I can't curse her out. I just have to find someone else to yell. I kind of like you now. Let me take your card. Okay. I'll see you
Yeah, I was saying, does that really work though? The
No,
killing
it
with kindness? Does it? I mean, like I'm a kind-hearted person, so right.
You've seen me. I mean,
Yes.
it may come off with sarcasm.
It does. It does work most of the time. I mean,
It's hard to yell at
most
somebody
people
smiling
that are
at you.
miserable, it ain't gonna work on. But I remember once I was in Walmart and the young lady waiting on me was rude to everybody in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother was prepared to do that. And here's the thing. It was Christmas Day. I get it. Nobody want to be working on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
7:00 in the morning on Christmas Day. I'm sure there were other things she'd rather be doing. And my mother was like, I'm going to tell her. I was like, no, you're not. And I got there. I was like, hi, beautiful. How are you? Immediately.
Right.
Immediately. She couldn't even be mean after that.
Mm-hmm.
And she even
Not
said,
to you
you're
anyway.
the first person who has acknowledged me today. And I've been here since 5. Everybody has something to complain about, but you said hi. And I always first try to greet people with a hello.
Right, right.
Period.
you do have the power to change the situation.
You absolutely do. You
Most of the time you
absolutely
do. I agree. I mean, there is some.
I mean,
I
some
work
people
in
just
medicine. It's a different scene. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna get to that.
I'm so cynical.
I'm going to get to that in just a second, but before I do, I just restarted another video, so you might want to go in and reshare it on your timelines too as well. And I'm going to get to the medical field as well, but I also want to real quick. See, again, it always happens. Make sure that we shout out a couple of our sponsors. DLP Serenity Travel is one of tonight's sponsors. Making sure that, listen, if you have to take some time to plan out a trip, and most of us probably don't get time to sit down and plan out a trip. In fact, I'm working on planning a trip right now, and I need to reach out to DLP Serenity Travel. But check out their contact information in the post. You can definitely take a look at one of the promotions and offerings that they have. DLP Serenity Travel. That's booking travel for you to get your next vacation ready to go. You've used DLP Serenity Travel,
Yes,
haven't you?
a couple of times.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Really phenomenal. So I gotta look at it. Exactly. So Brady, you work in the medical field.
Oh.
You know, and the difference, we worked in the service industry, where it's food based hospitality.
Mm-hmm.
Working in the medical field, you know, I think that people tend to believe that they're coming in, they have a problem, and you need to take care of them right away. How do you deal with that?
Yeah.
I am different than most of the people that I work with.
This is true.
I am lucky now that I have a leadership team that gets it. So utter disrespect is not tolerated from anyone, from me or the patient. It is necessary that everybody respects everybody. I'm usually the one they come and get for the difficult patients. I'm like Olivia Pope.
You're the bodyguard.
Right.
Get the
So
bouncer.
I'm the
Pope.
one that I can at least help them see the logic in it. Like, okay, so what we're not going to do is disrespect anybody. You're upset. I'm here to help the best way I can. So I kind of make it plain, lay the points out. So you were late 15 minutes. Your appointment's only 15 minutes. So what does that mean? You don't have an appointment anymore.
Mhm.
So what can we do now? Right now, you demanding to be seen is not an option. So let's
Right.
move to the next one.
Mhm.
So I think what has happened, what has always been in the medical industry is people think they're sick, they're not feeling well, and that deserves some type of empathy, and it does. However,
Absolutely.
Everybody here.
we're adults here. Exactly.
Get in line.
We are adults here, and I even told somebody that recently. We're adults and we're not kids in a sandbox throwing tantrums. So since that is the case, we're going to speak to each other in that manner.
Mhm.
And if we can't, then we will end this conversation and you'll call back another day.
Exactly.
No, so what's funny to me is you mentioned something that I think happens on a consistent basis, and I'm surprised. Adults throwing tantrums.
Oh God,
What is that?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't
what
like
is
it.
that? Like, just because, again, you're the customer, you feel like if things aren't going your way, you can throw a tantrum.
Well, obviously, people are creatures of habit. So if you do that and you're 35 years old, you've been doing that for
But not
36
only
years,
that,
probably. And
but
it's been working.
it's working.
Right, but I'm
Exactly.
not your
It's
mother, so
working.
guess what's not going to happen
Ain't
right
your
now?
mama. I ain't your mama.
I ain't the one. I
Well,
promise I'm
everyone
not.
has a phone now, and so the camera goes on, and you might get on YouTube and be famous in 15 minutes.
This is true.
Mhm.
The age of social media has
That's banned in our office.
definitely
Is it?
impacted the hospitality industry.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's to start their own show and their own mind, too.
Exactly.
So
Hey,
everything
welcome to
is
Rick's
seen.
Room. Thank you so much for being here. Well, we're here on social media. So you guys can slide down a little bit to make sure everybody's in. But I think
I
we can
can't
slide
tell.
down a little bit more. Just get real cozy, get real tight in there.
Everybody,
Just
come on.
slide on in, slide on in. But you're right. Social media has really kind of given us the opportunity to highlight and be stars of our own show. But does that really give people the right to throw a tantrum and get what they want in an
there's
adult
sense
setting?
of self-entitlement.
And it works. It really does work. It works. The loudest person in the room is the one that everybody wants to get out. Give her what she wants, or she'll shut
So
up
she'll shut up
And go away.
Just get her out of the
and
room.
go away.
Right.
Exactly. As opposed to, no, ma'am, just get out.
Right.
Well, I think I've had the privilege of working with Tasha and seeing some of the opportunities and
There you go. Sure, that's a word.
sure,
Okay.
opportunities where it's been listen, what we're not going to do here.
Mm-hmm.
Tasha, tell me a little bit about how you call it sarcasm, but some of your experiences that you've come across where you've had to rectify a situation.
Here's a fun one. I had a young lady come up to the window and she was looking for some savings. Your price is too high. How much is this? How much? She was asking her how much every item was, and that big number next to each item, that's the cost, that's the price. So anyway, side macaroni and cheese was $3, for instance. So she ordered that, chips and teeth the whole time. I really don't want to pay this $3, but I'll order it. So I give it to her, and if you've seen our portions, they're heaping, it's falling out upon your hand as I give it to you. You get a lot of food. That's all you get. Yes, that is it. That's all the people before you got when you were watching all of them. That's how much you get.
What do you expect for $3?
I just thought it'd be big. I'm sharing this with my son, and okay, that's not a problem, but okay. So you know what it did? I gave her a little bit more, just to satisfy the customer.
Nice.
It's $3, right? Yeah, only got 2. Okay, so you want a double portion at a discount. Well, that's not what I'm saying. That's exactly what you're saying,
Exactly what
ma'am.
you're saying.
And her son was right there, and he was just watching this. And I could see that this is someone who would go into the dollar store and try to negotiate you out of the cost of anything.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just so, how that ended, though, was I ended up giving her $2 back and throwing her side away. Because I won't be disrespected in my own window. She felt like she was going to get something for free. And when I told her, you're asking for too much, she was like, but that's what I want. I was like, well, hold on. So I took her cup back like I took the first time. I gave her more. I took it and I tossed it and gave her money back and told her we can't do business. She'd have to eat somewhere else.
If all of the other restaurant concepts could even just take a page out of that book.
Now,
Yeah.
here's the thing. And I talk to servers and even my managers at my current job right now. How is it that as a guest in a restaurant, if you're unhappy with your server, you can demand another server?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But why is it that as a server, we have to stand at that table and continue to be disrespected as a person?
Right.
I've had to tell a manager that I won't serve a table anymore.
Yeah.
I felt uncomfortable
I'm not comfortable
or
serving at table.
disrespected. I knew this wasn't going to work out. I would rather spend the next 40, 50 minutes with another customer making that transaction go better because this is not going to work out.
Exactly. Right. And you know what? I think that comes, there's a level of an adulthood that even in your profession, even when you're at work, that says, I won't be disrespected.
Yeah.
And a company should be able to back an employee for saying, I'm not going to be disrespected. I'm not going to tolerate being disrespected. I'm not taking this customer anymore. And they should be able to honor that. But I guess that there are companies out there that are just like, you're, as you said earlier, expendable. Right. And it doesn't matter.
They reward the squeaky wheel.
Yes.
The rusty hinge.
Mm-hmm.
And then give them a prize. Here's a discount and a free piece of pie or something. Have a nice day.
And a drink.
And see you next time. Tell your friends.
Bring your friends.
Right.
Time.
Well, but they say that. They say that, in customers having a bad experience, they'll tell 10 people, but if they had a good experience, they'll tell 2 or right. But in that same regard, if you go someplace and the customers had a mishap, something happened and it was rectified, then they'll they'll come back and become even more loyal for a rectified situation. So I guess I kind of being in the management position at one point, understand the attempt to appease a guest. I get that. But my hang up becomes when you don't back your staff, your staff for the disrespect that they're getting. And again, one of the biggest reasons I wanted to make sure we brought this to light was people need to know that if they're out there being disrespectful, that it shouldn't be tolerated.
Stop it.
Stop. Don't even come.
Can you see me? Stop. Tell your friends, your mothers, your sisters, your husbands, your cousins.
Well,
stop.
So then there's that. We talk about, Blue Lives Matter and Black Lives Matter and the whole movement and people saying that I'm going somewhere with this, that, that they're corrupt police officers, right? But the good police officers won't, expose the corrupt police officers, right? Mm-hmm. Very similar in that if we in the service industry and in customer service, various customer service industries, if we don't hold our family and friends accountable for their disrespect, then we're just as bad.
Yes.
Right. So, I don't know, Deb, have you ever had some of your family and friends out or had to correct some of your family and friends in the way that they've treated people? Is that a thing as well for you?
I went to dinner with a family member to her favorite restaurant I was visiting. And after we finished eating, she mentioned to me, I don't ever leave a tip. And I almost choked.
Right. My pearls. Wait a minute. Wait, what?
I said,
you don't do
wait
what?
a minute. You come in here every week. So these people know you. Mm-hmm. They know when you come through the door, that's the girl that doesn't tip, and you come back here every week. I was like,
and they give you good service?
You're a brave one.
Right, real brave.
You're a brave one.
Real brave.
I can't believe I ate this food already. Don't tell them what was in it. And I just said to her, if you cannot afford to go out to eat and tip your server,
and tip properly,
then you cannot afford to go out.
Hit a drive-through.
Hit a drive-through.
I prayed that night.
Lord, don't let me get sick.
Yeah. Well, I could only imagine what was in my food. I said, every week you come here with your no tipping.
Right.
Was she bragging about it?
Right.
Is she proud of
it? I have not repeated that event.
Understood.
I also think that, and I hate to speak on the elephant in the room, but I'm gonna speak on the elephant in the room.
Come on,
is it a certain shade of elephant?
Yes, it is a certain shade of elephant.
Ooh,
go ahead.
Yes.
You already picking up what I'm putting down.
I'm glad I didn't have to say it, but it's up on the table now.
We gonna talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. That's what we do here.
The answer is true.
Yes. The stigma applies.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
It does, though. It does.
It hurts. It pains me to say it.
It does.
It really does. To say it because
pains me to deal with it.
From someone who takes pride in their job, who takes this is my ministry. This is what I do.
Come on, ministry.
Rick,
yes.
You and I have come up together. You
yes.
know this.
Yeah.
This is what I do.
Mm-hmm.
When you're messing with me, you gonna get both barrels.
Yep.
On the good side.
Yep.
You're not gonna wait for nothing except your food. You're gonna get excellent service. Mm-hmm. With that comes the appropriate tip.
Gratuity.
Compensation.
And
if you cannot afford to do that appropriately, if you cannot stay within the suggested guidelines, of gratuity.
I almost want to give you a high five for just that. That was very, very corporately put and well articulated. The suggested guidelines. I'm gonna put it out there. 18% is standard. 20% is what you should be doing.
10% stay home.
15% stay home.
Hit Denny's. Go to drive.
Please.
Right.
Don't. No, don't even go to Denny's.
Not even
Right,
Denny's.
don't even go to Denny's.
Where are you ordering food? 1997?
At least, exactly. But
Right.
people still think that 15% is standard. And I'm like, if you get gratuity on a check because you have a large party, you're going to see 18% that's it. That's what you get.
And you
But-
know, if you're a high maintenance customer, you need to be tipping more.
So-
if your kids have left a mess,
Mm.
if you
I
loud
know
and you
so many high
pushy,
maintenance people.
What do you mean
If
by
you-
high maintenance? Explain high maintenance.
you know, when you leave, if your table looked like you flipped it over and there was a bar fight, and you just
Or you send the server back 50 times. Can I
right,
get water?
you know,
Come
you,
back with
right.
water.
I know
Exactly.
as a customer, I
Yeah.
know
Get
as a
napkins.
customer,
Extra straws.
there's certain things I need when I have my food. I want extra cilantro. I'm going to need extra butter. I know this when I walk in. I know, and especially if it's a busy night and I know I really want more ice in my drink and I'm running you, I want to tip you more. I feel that because I feel like I'm not bothering you, but I'm putting you out more.
Just like
Yeah, if you know you're going to nickel and dime me every time I come back to this table for another side of ranch sauce, and it's a dressing, by the way. If I got to go back and forth to this table 22 times and neglect my other tables, you need to make up for the money I'm losing from the other people
for the other people.
because I'm babysitting you
If
this
I
whole
have
time.
if I have to keep going back and getting extra packets of sugar and extra lemons so you can make your own lemonade
Free
at
lemonade.
the table.
Mm.
Right.
Mm. Oh, well,
I said we're gonna talk about
but here's why we need to talk about that. I'm glad we can do this in Rick's room because for those of you that are viewing, watching, or listening, if you got family or friends like that, y'all need to be holding your family and friends accountable.
You
too.
definitely
Right.
Don't
go
come
to eat
out.
with those people.
Exactly. And even if they like, oh, let's go to
No.
put the foot down.
Oh,
No.
Oh, God. Don't even give me that.
Especially if they're
I know
high
they
maintenance.
watching.
Okay, well, you don't have to. If you got high maintenance friends, high maintenance being that you do, that person runs the server ridiculously and your food comes out and you think it's cold, but it's really not cold. And you want to argue with like a whole bunch of reasons. I can go on and on about
There's a myriad of reasons.
at least, but don't go out with them. Say no and tell them why, right?
Let
Tell
them know.
why.
Yeah, because people operate under this cloak of,
Oh,
you
no,
know,
I
I didn't
Right.
know that I was obnoxious.
You tell them.
Yes.
People
Yeah.
perish. I mean, the
Mhm.
Bible says people perish from lack of knowledge.
That's what it says.
Mm.
Okay,
Come
so
on, word on Wednesday
I'm gonna
night.
tell you right now, as a friend, if you going out with me, conduct yourself appropriately.
No, I say flat out. I don't go out with you because you don't tip. I don't go out with you because you're rude. I don't go out with you because you ask for too many things.
There
when
are
we're at the
people- there are-
table.
That's right.
Because
Yeah.
I
people-
I'm
cannot
embarrassed.
sugarcoat. I'm
No.
41. I don't sugarcoat nothing no more.
Mm-mm.
I'll just say what it is.
I
No,
couldn't do it
I don't
with
like
you.
going out with you because
Mm.
you make it painful. You make it
Because you
stressful
can't
for
enjoy
me.
it.
And if you
I'm
don't have
going
enough
out
money to tip, you cannot go out with me.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's not a counseling session. It's just
It shouldn't
a
be.
meal, you know.
Right.
I can't take care of all your
Right,
needs.
exactly. So if you make my eating stressful, and I like to eat, and if you make that stressful for that experience, you can't go. I'm not
Mhm.
going. You go with your other friends. I'm not going.
Or I'll try to conduct it or be a director if I know if I'm out with those problematic people. If I know you don't tip, I make sure that I'm going to be the one taking care
I'm
of the tip.
gonna
I'm
tell
going to
her
watch
give
the
me the
end when it's
bill.
all done. They're putting their part in.
You
Make
can't
sure
go.
is that 20% of. Let me go ahead and find the.
And
Because I'm not gonna be a part of a table that's not tipping well, so I have to
Right.
make up for it. Or like certain things like generational things, like my mom, going out with my mom. She's a pleasant person, but she's sometimes her wording. Give me this, mom, politely as I'd like.
May I?
May I?
Exactly.
Please,
And here I
and
am
thank
trying
you.
to tell my mother how to use her manners.
Right.
She
I
didn't
think
like
that's a
being
50s
schooled
and
though
60s
because she's
thing.
my mother. So I'll order for you. What do you have?
Right.
Chicken salad. Mom would love a
And-
chicken salad. Hold the grapes. I know. Hold the
And-
grapes.
Please.
And,
Right.
and sometimes you have
Please,
to do
thank
that.
you, and excuse me. So I have to talk for her because she's 72. She's not gonna change her stripes.
Right. Exactly.
And
So-
sometimes you have to do that.
Right.
I
Yeah.
have no problems
That's their defense.
when I'm going out. If I'm going out with a group of people, give me the bill.
right.
I'm gonna tell the server, give me the bill.
Right.
Now, when it comes time to pay, I know how much money all y'all got, so
Mhm.
pay me my money.
Is this something
there's
we
a
can talk about?
there's a question on
That's the
the
elephant I was
table.
talking about
Are
earlier.
are blacks
Are blacks the worst?
are blacks the worst tippers?
Is that true? That makes
That
me
is
sad.
so. Here's the thing.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
yes,
And yes.
yes.
And if you've heard the stigma that comes along with being a black woman coming out to eat, and the stereotype that goes along with that, that tends to be kind of true too as well.
And there are different levels of that too, because if your table is black and you, let's just say this is true because it is, and black people in general,
Right,
are the worst tippers. I, as a black server, I'm going to get less than if I was a white server serving this time.
Yes.
I promise you.
so true.
So very true.
God, this is hurting my feelings.
It's so true.
Yes.
So very true.
And I'll take it to another level. As a black female,
As a black female,
I do not want to serve a table of other black females.
Mhm.
They're
That
the
is-
worst of the worst.
They're
of
the
the
worst. It's
worst.
the worst. It's
Of
competition.
the
Do my
worst of
friends
the
hear
worst.
this, y'all?
Right.
Oh, not my
Did you share
sisters,
this?
Please.
And so when I go out as a customer, I overtip to make up for the fact that
Yep.
I know when I walk into this restaurant
You
with my
already-
Latino husband, that the server's approaching me like, "You don't get no money off this table."
Mhm.
I know they're gonna. I know
Black
just
and-
do a creature
got a
of
black
habit.
and a Mexican.
I know they look at this table with a black woman,
Yeah.
Latino man,
Oh my
and they
God.
like, I'm not gonna make no money. Let me just give them what they want real quick and visit them very little. But I overdo it. I'm extra nice. I let them know I'm also in the service industry. I got you. You can relax with this table. You got 50 minutes where you could just chill. And they're like, okay,
And
I
you can come-
appreciate that.
And they
And you can come
appreciate
back
They
that.
next
appreciate, yes, they
You can come back
appreciate
next
that.
week.
They know they're gonna get their money and they can stress out with a different table. But
So
yeah, I know as a black woman that
I
I'm
see
seen
it.
as
I
the
see it.
worst tipper
I
out
see
there
it.
because it's true.
listen, K Lock Doc said y'all need to hang with some
That's
different black
other
people.
Call me, text me. I need to know what these people are.
That's my
That's not
sister.
how
We
we
need to hang
We
out on
I
my
mean,
ass.
Well,
I
whoever
have
said that,
a
we're taking all
couple-
suggestions.
Right.
that are like that, are friends with family, but we put them in line. But as a whole, that's not how we roll. So all black women are not like
No,
that.
Not all.
Right,
No, not all.
Right. I'm
Not
the
all.
one who said it, and I'm not the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah, right.
But yeah.
But yeah, that's-
But I will say that it is true.
I will say they will run you to death.
There's that
They
too.
will run you, and here's
death.
$2.
Because I get offended. I'd be like, girl.
Right, and I gotta see. I'm in a position where when I served, I would have to pretend flirt. Like I really don't want you, but
Mhm.
just
Yes.
because you think that I'm cute and sexy and you want to run me back and forth because it's fun for you, that's fine.
Mhm.
Whatever works.
Flirting
But
helps.
Angela DeClama also said, I agree. I overtip to make up for my
Mhm.
people.
Yes.
But she said
Oh
that
my
ignorant people are the worst tippers, is what she said. K-Lock Doc also said, "Come follow my crew. I can't tell y'all where we go at least once a week, or at least once weekly." K-Lock does go out quite a bit.
Every Friday.
Yeah, she
That's our sister.
yeah. Shout out to the Dr. Lockhart there, one of our sisters. But so it's unfortunate that is the elephant in the room that we've just been waiting to get on the table. But for those of you who have ties in the community, like McDonald's is deeply rooted in the community. If you have ties in the community, make sure that you are holding your friends accountable. 18 to 20% is standard. 18
to 20%.
to 20%.
Nothing
is
less.
standard.
And 20% is real easy to figure out. That's what I tell people all the time. Go 20. It's real easy to figure out. Just double that first number. You're good. Wait, something like that. One of the math. But anyway.
Carry the 7. Always carry the 7.
At least carry this. Lola Monroe Isabel said, just like doctors are the worst patients, I think servers are the worst customers. Wow.
I totally disagree.
Because you
Absolutely not.
critique
I know.
everything.
I do. Okay. Yes, I'll give you that one. I am very critical. But
I am.
again, like I said
I'm very
earlier,
critical.
if something is wrong, if my plate is dirty, I'm not going to beat the server up.
No.
They didn't plate it. I know that. But like I said, if my food perhaps is cold, I can tell when it was.
You can
I
tell
can tell when it was
It's
it's cold
sitting in the
in
window.
food has
center.
been sitting
I
in the
can tell
window.
if
Yes.
it's cold in the center and it wasn't prepared right cold,
Right.
or if it's been sitting under the heat lamp too long
Mhm.
because maybe they were waiting on a longer ticket item. My salad was ready first. We waiting on fried chicken, so by the time you get it to me, my salad
my
is
salad
wonky
is
because it's
wonky,
been waiting on
'cause-
something else that came out.
Because I've been waiting
or
on
the
your
other way
well done
around.
steak.
Something that should be cold is lukewarm
Mhm.
because it was waiting. But I gauge that, like, okay, I'll
Right.
eat it anyway. It's still good. Or if I can't do it, I politely send it back and I politely wait for something else. But I'm not gonna be a jerk about it.
Right.
No.
That doesn't get me anything.
Mr. Al Young, who helps produce Rick's Room, said, "Can we talk about the standard of service, though?" We had a conversation about the fact that sometimes when you go out, being in the industry,
Yeah,
you have
on the
this,
flip side.
ideology that you're going to go above and beyond because you're in the industry, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes the standard of service is crappy because they're like you mentioned, you have a Black and Latino out, so automatically the thought is, I'm not going to get any money, right? So then they start with their
So your standards of
stereotypes,
service.
and exactly. So, I guess on we talk about the customer not always being right, but when we have friends that are in the industry, I guess it's important that we hold them accountable for always providing great service, right? How do you do that?
You have to lead by example. And I think that is the best way that you can do that. I'll admit it. I've fallen into that stigma myself, especially where I am right now. I am the recovery person. If there's a problem or if there's a huge party coming in and they're like, we need somebody that we know can handle this. Mm-hmm. Sean.
Somebody that can handle this.
Exactly.
Right.
Olivia Pope. Just in the male version. But you don't ever slack on your standards of service, because you can be a server or an order taker.
Mm-hmm.
It's your choice.
Mm-hmm. Right.
People come to McDonald's, they take your order.
Right.
I think what's going to happen just by attrition, that if you don't do your job well, you're not going to be there very long, because you will not get paid.
You will not get paid. You will not get the proper compensation.
You'll be dissatisfied pretty quickly if you don't step up your game.
Well, and it's kind of like, with attrition being one thing, there was a comment about, or a conversation I recently witnessed about poor service because gratuity was already included. So the standard service
that's happened too.
Right. Or like even overseas, I think over in Europe, if the gratuity is included.
I've heard of that before, but I like taking large parties, for instance, and usually in most restaurants it's like parties of 6, maybe 7, or automatically gratuity. Yes. But I'm a salesperson, so gratuity on 0 is not much. So you're still going to get great service, because I'm still going to try to sell you to death, because I want you to buy instead of I want you to get the Jack and Coke, and I want you to get the extra sauce on your pasta. Order the shrimp. Have the shrimp.
Get some extra shrimp.
Right, exactly. You want 2 pieces of cheesecake? You got one now. Another for a nice snack. You'll thank me later. So I'm trying to get your check higher. So I'm still there. I'm there a lot, and I like big parties because and that's the entertainer in me. So my service doesn't drop when there's an automatic gratuity. If anything, I'm more on point, because I know it's coming, but it's up to me to make sure that's. But
even though the gratuity is included, if you give good service, people are going to tip above.
They're going to go above and beyond.
Yeah, definitely. That definitely happens too. So I'm always grateful for individuals who are, or at least when I was in this industry, that tip over that gratuity, who know that that's only 18%, but they did a great job, so I'm going to give extra too as well.
It definitely does. Even with before the automatic gratuity was taken away by the state, I love.
That's right. It sure was. Illinois took that away.
Yes.
Yeah, that's horrible. So again, there's not automatic gratuity in Illinois anymore.
There is no more automatic.
There's no more automatic gratuity in Illinois.
And however,
I forgot
they took it out. Which, by the way, just note that servers in the service industry are not making minimum wage. They're making below minimum wage. Throw that out there, just for those of you who did not know.
Well below.
And it's almost like the service industry, the management anyway, wants to keep that on the DL.
Like, I know. They don't want all about
the customers to know that the management, the corporate, whoever payroll ain't paying these folks. Right?
Exactly.
They need your gratuity.
Yeah.
You wouldn't like to go to work at your job and have your boss tell you, well, we can't pay you this week. We're going to give you less.
Yeah, that does hurt.
Right.
That does hurt.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we got to go ahead and wrap this conversation up. I appreciate
really?
I told you. It goes fast. It goes fast. But real quick, let me start with Tasha down there. Go ahead and say your goodbyes to the folks out there in Facebook land.
I don't even know where I was supposed to be looking this whole time.
That's fine. Over there.
Hi.
Right.
The Cook It on Wheels. Find us at thecookitoonwheels.com. Friends Fed here.
# Friends Fed here. And Ms. Deb, thank you so much. Anything last words you want to give out?
Be kind.
Definitely be kind. Mr. Sean, thank you for hanging out in Rick's room with me tonight. Any last words for you to wrap up?
Just remember, suggested gratuity, 18 to 20%.
Suggested gratuity, 18 to 20%. And Miss Brandy L., thanks so much for stopping back by the room.
Yes, sure. My last words. If you can, treat people how you want to be treated. And if not, then I treat you how you act.
Well, that's how you know when you come in the medical field who you need to stay away from, or how to conduct yourself accordingly. Again, ladies and gentlemen, guys, thank you so much to the panel for hanging out with me tonight. I really appreciate it. Special thanks to Al Young Enterprises for producing Rick's Room as well. If you're looking for performance and production engagements or artistic development or any type of personal image consulting, shoot out Al a email at alyoungii@me.com or give him a call, 773-220-9866. 669. Stay tuned if you're tuning in on IntellectualRadio.com. My girl Dana Michelle is up next, hosting Dana Being Dana, talking about some sweet treats in preparation, I believe, of Valentine's Day coming up in a few weeks with her sweet ladies. So make sure you tune in and catch her every Wednesday here at 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in and stopping by the room here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. on Intellectual Radio and iHeart Radio and iTunes station. Now it's time for you to get out. Take it easy.